Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by asking you this. Have you ever allowed someone else's words, actions, or energy to ruin your day? If you have, you're not alone. But tonight I'm here to tell you that you don't have to live like that. You can choose peace over anger, calm over chaos, and strength over weakness. The first step is understanding this truth. What people say or do is often a reflection of them, not you. Let that sink in. You're not responsible for their bad day, their insecurities, or their shortcomings. Don't take it personally. The moment you shift your perspective, you'll realize their actions don't define you, your reactions do. Controlling your emotions isn't always easy. We're human, we feel deeply. But here's the secret: there's power in the pause. When someone pushes your buttons, don't push back right away. Take a breath. Think. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, it's not. Understanding the power of perspective is a transformative step toward maintaining peace and composure in your life. Often we take people's actions or words personally, assuming they are a direct attack on us. However, the reality is that most of what people say or do has little to do with us and everything to do with them, their experiences, their struggles, and their state of mind. Recognizing this truth allows us to detach emotionally and respond with clarity rather than reacting impulsively. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic or speaks to you rudely at work. The instinctive reaction might be to get angry or feel insulted, but what if you paused and considered the other side? Perhaps the person in traffic is rushing to an emergency. Maybe your colleague is having a tough day or dealing with a personal crisis. By shifting your perspective, you begin to see beyond the surface of their behavior. This doesn't excuse negative actions, but it helps you understand that their behavior is more about their circumstances than your worth. Perspective also reminds us that everyone sees the world differently, shaped by their upbringing, beliefs, and experiences. 2 people can face the same situation and perceive it in entirely different ways. Realizing this can help you approach interactions with patience and compassion. Instead of assuming malice or disrespect, you start to see the nuances in people's actions. You realize that their behavior might stem from fear, stress, or misunderstanding rather than a deliberate attempt to hurt you. Adopting this mindset doesn't mean becoming passive or allowing others to walk over you. It means choosing your battles wisely and saving your energy for what truly matters. Not every comment deserves a response, and not every situation demands your emotional investment. By understanding that most negativity is a reflection of the other person, you free yourself from the burden of carrying their baggage. This shift in perspective also fosters empathy. When you recognize that everyone is fighting their own unseen battles, it becomes easier to forgive and let go. Empathy doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger, because it allows you to rise above pettiness and stay grounded in your own peace. Understanding perspective is about taking control of your emotional narrative. Instead of reacting to life as a victim of circumstance, you become the author of your responses. You learn to navigate challenges with grace, seeing them not as attacks but as opportunities to grow and stay centered. Perspective doesn't change the world around you, but it changes how you see it, and that, in turn, changes everything. When you truly embrace this idea, you become unshakable, no longer swayed by the noise of others. You find freedom in knowing that their words and actions don't define your reality, your response does. Mastering emotional control is a skill that can change the trajectory of your life. Emotions are powerful forces. They can guide us to great decisions or drive us into regretful reactions. The key lies in not allowing emotions to dictate your actions impulsively. While it's natural to feel anger, frustration, or hurt, you have the ability to manage those emotions and choose your response, rather than being ruled by them. Imagine this: someone says something insulting and your initial reaction is to snap back. That reaction might feel satisfying in the moment, but it often escalates the situation and leaves you feeling worse later. On the other hand, if you pause before responding, take a deep breath, and assess the situation, you reclaim control. This small pause can prevent unnecessary conflict and allows you to handle the moment with clarity and intention. Controlling emotion starts with awareness. You need to recognize when an emotion is taking over. This requires mindfulness, being present in the moment and paying attention to your internal state. When you notice anger rising, acknowledge it without judgment. Say to yourself, I feel angry right now, rather than immediately acting on it. Naming the emotion gives you a moment of detachment, which is often enough to regain control. The next step is learning to channel your emotions constructively. Emotions are not the enemy, they're signals from your mind and body. Anger, for instance, often arises when we feel disrespected or hurt. Instead of letting it erupt, use it as information. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What can I do to address the situation calmly and effectively? This reflective approach shifts your focus from reacting to problem solving. Breathing techniques and grounding exercises are practical tools for emotional control. When emotions start to overwhelm you, take a series of deep breaths, focusing on the inhale and exhale. This simple practice calms your nervous system and brings you back to a state of equilibrium. Similarly, grounding exercises such as focusing on your senses or repeating a calming phrase can help you stay centered in the present moment rather than being swept away by emotions. Another critical aspect of emotional control is understanding the difference between responding and reacting. A reaction is immediate and often driven by emotion, whereas a response is thoughtful and intentional. For example, when someone criticizes you unfairly, a reaction might be to lash out defensively. A response, however, might be to calmly ask for clarification or simply walk away. Responding allows you to maintain your dignity and keep the situation from spiraling out of control. Mastering emotional control is a process that requires practice, but the rewards are immense. It strengthens your relationships, enhances your decision-making, and helps you maintain inner peace. When you learn to manage your emotions effectively, you're no longer a slave to anger, frustration, or fear. Instead, you become the master of your own emotional landscape, equipped to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Focusing on what you can control is one of the most liberating and empowering practices you can adopt. In life, there are countless factors at play, many of which are entirely outside of your influence. People's opinions, their actions, unexpected circumstances, and even the weather are all things you cannot control. Yet we often exhaust ourselves trying to change these uncontrollable elements, leading to frustration, stress, and anger. By shifting your energy toward what you can control, you reclaim your peace and direct your efforts toward meaningful action. The first step is recognizing the boundary between what's within your control and what isn't. This might seem obvious, but in the heat of the moment, it's easy to blur the lines. For example, if someone treats you poorly, you cannot control their behavior, but you can control your response. You can choose to confront them calmly, distance yourself, or let go entirely. What you choose shapes the outcome of the situation more than their initial behavior ever could. Focusing on what you can control requires a mindset shift. It's tempting to dwell on external problems or blame others for your challenges. However, this approach leaves you feeling powerless. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation or how I feel about it? This question redirects your attention to actionable steps. It might mean adjusting your attitude, setting boundaries, or changing your approach to a problem. When you act on what you can control, you become an active participant in shaping your own life. This principle applies to emotional well-being as well. While you cannot control how others treat you, you can control how you internalize their actions. You can choose not to let their negativity take root in your mind. Practicing self-awareness and mindfulness helps you identify when you're focusing too much on what's outside your control and gently brings you back to what's within your power. Another aspect is learning to accept uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control every outcome is a recipe for disappointment. Acceptance doesn't mean complacency, it means understanding that some things are beyond your influence and choosing to let go of the need to control them. This creates mental space to focus on areas where your actions can truly make a difference. Focusing on what you can control also builds resilience. When faced with challenges, you realize that while you may not control the problem itself, you control how you approach it. You can adapt, strategize, and persevere. This mindset keeps you grounded during tough times and prevents you from feeling overwhelmed by circumstances you can't change. Concentrating on what you can control is about taking responsibility for your life. It empowers you to focus on your actions, attitudes, and intentions while freeing you from the burden of trying to manage the uncontrollable. By mastering this practice, you build a life that's not dictated by external forces, but shaped by your inner strength and intentional efforts. Practicing empathy and forgiveness is a powerful way to maintain inner peace and emotional resilience. In a world where misunderstandings, disagreements, and hurt feelings are inevitable, these two qualities act as shields against anger and bitterness. Empathy allows you to see the world from another person's perspective, while forgiveness frees you from the burden of carrying grudges. Together, they help you rise above negativity and cultivate harmony within yourself and your relationships. Empathy begins with understanding that everyone has a unique story. People's actions are often shaped by their experiences, struggles, and emotions, many of which you may never see. When someone behaves in a way that hurts or irritates you, it's easy to assume malice. But often, their actions are not about you at all. For instance, a rude comment might stem from their own frustration or insecurity rather than an intent to harm. By considering what they might be going through, you soften the blow and respond with compassion instead of anger. Empathy doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It means acknowledging the complexity of human emotions and actions. It's about pausing to ask yourself, why might this person be acting this way? This question shifts your focus from judgment to understanding. When you see others as humans navigating their own challenges, it becomes easier to let go of resentment and approach situations with kindness. Forgiveness builds on empathy by allowing you to release the hold that past wrongs have on you. Holding on to anger or grudges only hurts you in the long run. It keeps you tethered to negative emotions and prevents you from fully moving forward. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of the situation. Forgiving someone doesn't require their apology or even their acknowledgement of wrongdoing. It's an internal decision to let go for your own well-being. Think of forgiveness as a gift you give yourself. When you choose to forgive, you reclaim your energy and peace of mind. You stop letting someone else's actions control your emotions and focus instead on your own growth and happiness. Empathy and forgiveness also enhance your relationships. They foster open communication, reduce conflict, and build trust. When you approach others with understanding and a willingness to let go of past mistakes, you create an environment where both parties can grow and heal. This doesn't mean tolerating toxic behavior. It means addressing issues constructively while maintaining your emotional boundaries. Practicing empathy and forgiveness is a process, not a one-time decision. It requires self-awareness, patience, and a commitment to choosing peace over anger. But the rewards are worth it. These qualities transform the way you interact with others and, more importantly, the way you feel about yourself. By embracing empathy and forgiveness, you protect your peace, strengthen your resilience, and create a life free from the weight of negativity. Building inner confidence is a cornerstone of emotional resilience and a key to living a life free from constant annoyance or anger. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, external opinions, criticisms, or challenges lose their power to disturb your peace. Confidence is not arrogance. It's a quiet assurance in your own value, abilities, and decisions, regardless of what others think or say. This internal strength acts as a shield against negativity and empowers you to navigate. True confidence begins with self-awareness. It's about understanding who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the table. When you know your strengths, acknowledge your weaknesses, and accept yourself fully, you become less dependent on external validation. Criticism no longer feels like a personal attack because your sense of worth isn't tied to others' approval. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback. It means filtering it through the lens of your own values and using it constructively rather than allowing it to define you. Building confidence also requires cultivating a positive mindset. Negative self-talk is one of the biggest enemies of confidence. If you constantly doubt yourself or focus on your flaws, you create a mental environment where insecurity thrives. Instead, replace those thoughts with affirmations that highlight your strengths and potential. Remind yourself of your achievements, skills, and the progress you've made. This shift in perspective reinforces your belief in yourself and builds a strong foundation for inner confidence. Another essential aspect of confidence is setting and achieving goals. Confidence grows when you take action, face challenges, and see the results of your efforts. Start with small, attainable goals and gradually work your way up to bigger ones. Each accomplishment reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed. Even when you face setbacks, viewing them as learning experiences rather than failures helps you maintain your confidence. Resilience is built through persistence, and every step forward strengthens your inner self. Confidence also comes from setting boundaries. Knowing your limits and standing up for them shows that you value yourself and your time. This might mean saying no to commitments that drain you, distancing yourself from toxic relationships, or refusing to engage in unproductive arguments. Boundaries protect your energy and reinforce the message to yourself and others that your peace is non-negotiable. Surrounding yourself with positive influences further bolsters confidence. Seek out people who support and uplift you rather than those who criticize or undermine you. A supportive environment fosters self-assurance and reminds you of your worth when doubts arise. Confidence is about trusting yourself. Life is unpredictable, and you won't always have all the answers. But when you trust your ability to adapt, learn, and overcome challenges, you approach life with a sense of calm and control. This trust in yourself allows you to remain composed in the face of criticism, adversity, or uncertainty. Inner confidence is a powerful force. It empowers you to rise above negativity, make decisions with conviction, and remain unshaken by external circumstances. When you build and nurture this confidence, you create a foundation of strength that allows you to face the world with unshakable peace and resilience. Creating personal boundaries is an essential practice for maintaining emotional well-being and protecting your peace. Boundaries act as invisible lines that define what you are willing to accept and how others can treat you. They aren't about shutting people out or being unkind. They're about respecting yourself enough to prioritize your needs, energy, and emotional health. When you set clear boundaries, you create a healthier environment for yourself and foster more respectful relationships. The first step to establishing boundaries is recognizing your own limits. You need to understand what drains your energy, what makes you uncomfortable, and what disrupts your peace. For example, if constant interruptions at work prevent you from focusing, or if a friend's behavior repeatedly crosses a line, these are signs that boundaries need to be set. Self-awareness is key. By identifying these triggers, you take the first step toward reclaiming control over your interactions and experiences. Communicating boundaries is equally important. Many people struggle with this, fearing they'll come across as rude or confrontational. However, setting boundaries is not about confrontation, it's about clarity. When you express your needs calmly and assertively, you help others understand your limits without unnecessary conflict. For instance, you might say, "I need uninterrupted time to focus on my tasks," or "I'm not comfortable discussing that topic." Clear and direct communication prevents misunderstandings and reinforces your commitment to protecting your peace. Enforcing boundaries is where true strength lies, as setting them is one thing, but consistently upholding them is another. Some people may push back or test your limits, especially if they're used to overstepping. This is where you need to stand firm. Consistency sends the message that you value your well-being and won't compromise on it. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but with time, people will learn to respect your boundaries, and those who don't might not deserve a place in your life. It's also important to remember that boundaries are not just about limiting negative influences, they're about creating space for positive experiences. By saying no to what doesn't serve you, you free up time and energy for what does. You prioritize meaningful relationships, fulfilling activities, and personal growth. Boundaries are a way of investing in yourself, ensuring that your life is aligned with your values and goals. Establishing boundaries doesn't mean you're selfish, it means you're self-aware. You recognize that your emotional and mental health are crucial, not just for yourself, but for those around you. When you're at peace, you can show up fully in your relationships and responsibilities. Boundaries allow you to give from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Personal boundaries are about empowerment. They remind you that you have the right to choose how you spend your energy and who you allow into your space. By creating and maintaining them, you protect your inner calm, foster healthier relationships, and build a life where your peace is prioritized above all else. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges to a better, more balanced you. Engaging in positive self-talk is one of the most effective ways to build resilience, maintain peace, and protect yourself from being easily angered or bothered by others. Self-talk is the ongoing internal dialogue you have with yourself, and it has a profound impact on your emotions, behavior, and overall outlook on life. When your self-talk is positive, it becomes a powerful tool to boost confidence, regulate emotions, and create a sense of calm, even in challenging situations. The foundation of positive self-talk is self-awareness. Many people don't realize how much of their internal dialogue is negative or self-critical. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough, I always mess up," or "Why does this always happen to me?" can run on autopilot, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and anger. The first step is to recognize these patterns and consciously interrupt them. Awareness allows you to challenge these thoughts and replace them with more constructive and empowering ones. Positive self-talk doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about reframing situations in a way that helps you navigate them with clarity and optimism. For example, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you might say, "This is difficult, but I'll figure it out." Instead of thinking, "They're always disrespectful to me," you could reframe it as, "Their behavior reflects their own struggles, not my worth." These subtle shifts in language can dramatically change how you perceive and respond to challenges. Another key aspect of positive self-talk is focusing on your strengths and capabilities. When faced with criticism or negativity from others, remind yourself of your accomplishments, skills, and qualities. Affirmations like, "I am capable, I deserve respect," or "I choose peace over conflict" reinforce your inner confidence and keep external negativity from taking root. These affirmations act as a buffer against the impact of others' words or actions. Self-compassion is also integral to positive self-talk. Everyone makes mistakes, faces setbacks, or has moments of doubt. Instead of harshly criticizing yourself during these times, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. Acknowledge your feelings, remind yourself that it's okay to be imperfect, and focus on what you can learn from the experience. This practice reduces self-inflicted stress and keeps your mindset constructive and forward-looking. Positive self-talk becomes especially powerful when paired with mindfulness. By staying present in the moment, you can detach from reactive, negative thoughts and replace them with calm affirmations. For instance, when anger arises, take a deep breath and internally say, "I choose calm," or "I am in control of my emotions." Over time, this practice trains your mind to default to calmness rather than irritation. The beauty of positive self-talk is that it's always accessible. It doesn't require external validation or anyone else's approval. It's something you cultivate within yourself. By consciously shaping your internal dialogue, you build a mental environment that supports peace, resilience, and emotional stability. When your self-talk uplifts you, the opinions and actions of others lose their power to disturb your inner calm. Positive self-talk is not just a skill, it's a form of self-care that empowers you to thrive in any situation. Practicing mindfulness and presence is a transformative way to stay unbothered and composed no matter what life throws at you. Mindfulness is the act of being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. When you cultivate mindfulness, you create a mental space that allows you to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This practice helps you detach from external chaos and find peace within yourself. One of the core principles of mindfulness is recognizing that emotions are temporary. When anger or frustration arises, mindfulness teaches you to observe these feelings without letting them take control. Instead of saying, "I am angry," you might think, "I am experiencing anger." This subtle shift creates distance between you and your emotions, reminding you that they are not permanent and do not define you. By observing your feelings rather than identifying with them, you empower yourself to choose a calm, measured response. Being present also means letting go of the past and future. Much of our anger and irritation stems from dwelling on what has already happened or worrying about what might happen. For example, replaying a hurtful conversation in your mind or anticipating a difficult situation can amplify negative emotions. Mindfulness encourages you to focus on the now, the only moment you truly have control over. By anchoring yourself in the present, you break free from the cycle of rumination and anxiety. Breathing is a powerful tool for mindfulness. When you feel overwhelmed, it can slow. Deep breaths helps ground you in the moment and calms your nervous system. Focusing on your breath brings your attention back to the present and interrupts the mental spirals that often lead to anger or frustration. A simple technique is to inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. This practice not only soothes your mind, but also gives you the clarity to approach situations more effectively. Mindfulness also involves accepting situations as they are rather than resisting them. This doesn't mean complacency or passivity, it means acknowledging reality without letting it overwhelm you. For example, if someone speaks harshly to you, mindfulness helps you see the event for what it is, a momentary action, without assigning it unnecessary weight. You learn to accept the moment, decide what, if any, action is needed, and move on without carrying the emotional baggage. Daily practices like meditation, journaling, or mindful walking can help strengthen your mindfulness. These activities train your mind to focus and detach from distractions, making it easier to stay present even during challenging situations. Over time, mindfulness becomes a natural part of how you approach life, allowing you to remain calm and centered amidst external turbulence. Mindfulness is a gift you give to yourself. It empowers you to navigate life's challenges with clarity and grace, free from the grip of anger or irritation. By staying present and practicing acceptance, you cultivate inner peace that external circumstances cannot shake. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate difficulties, it transforms your relationship with them, allowing you to handle anything with resilience and composure. Life is full of challenges, misunderstandings, and situations that can test our patience. But true strength lies not in controlling the chaos around us, but in mastering the calm within us. By understanding yourself, managing your emotions, and focusing on what you can control, you build an unshakable foundation of inner peace. When you practice empathy, forgiveness, and mindfulness, you not only protect your own well-being, but also inspire others to rise above negativity. The world will always have its storms, but you don't have to let them rage within you. You have the power to choose how you respond, to create boundaries that protect your energy, and to speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement. Every day you have the opportunity to strengthen your inner confidence and step into a version of yourself that isn't easily shaken or bothered. Walk forward with grace and resilience. Be the calm in the storm, the light in the darkness, and the example of what it means to live with peace and purpose. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Thank you.